Thomas Edison's last words were, "It's very beautiful over there. I don't know where there is, but I believe it's somewhere, and I hope it's beautiful." I'm Hallie, and I'm going to be talking to you today about 3 books that deal with death and dying. First up is a book that I just read you the last lines from. It's a book that's obsessed with last lines. It's Looking for Alaska by John Green. This is a story about Miles Halter, a boy who leaves his hometown to live at a boarding school in Alabama. As soon as he arrives at his new school, Miles makes friends with a group of ragtag teenagers made up by the unique Alaska Young, the hilarious Colonel, and the somewhat strange Takumi. Miles falls in love with Alaska, a unique girl who chooses her own name and sucks Miles into her world like a hurricane. When one of his friends dies unexpectedly, Miles has to use all of the tools that Alaska has taught him about himself to evaluate his life and his legacy. He has to question who he is, why he's here, and what it all means in life after death. Pick up this book today to find out which of Miles' friends bites the dust and how Miles discovers himself on his trip to seek his great perhaps. Well, for the next book, I want you to picture living with someone who is technically alive, but whose soul has been killed long ago. Now, I'm not talking about living with zombies or with Casper the Friendly Ghost. I'm talking about living with a soldier, one who has PTSD, one who teeters on the brink of life and death on a daily basis. For Haley Kincaid, in The Impossible Knife of Memory, this is her everyday life. Her father, Andy Kincaid, is a retired Army captain who has settled semi-permanently in his hometown in upstate New York. At first, everything's great. Haley goes to school, she makes friends, gets a boyfriend, and looks forward to coming home to her father every night. But when Haley's dad loses her job, things go wrong. First, he loses his job, then he loses his sobriety, and then he loses his sanity. You can pick up this book to find out if Haley can save her father from himself and how much of herself she'll have to sacrifice to save the people that she loves. In the next book, I'm going to talk to you about the pretty girl. You know, the one with the reputation. We all know this girl. Maybe you are that girl. Maybe you love that girl. Or maybe you hate her. Maybe, if she's like Hannah Baker, you're on her list. Now, what list, you might be thinking? The list of reasons why Hannah killed herself. In this book, we get an in-depth listen to Hannah's suicide note in the form of cassette tapes, passed among 13 people who Hannah says directly contributed to her committing suicide. You can pick up 13 Reasons Why, a heartbreaking novel, to find out if you would be on Hannah's list, and consider how our everyday actions impact the people around us in ways that we might never know. Happy reading!